Shaykh Bahmanpour is Hujjat-ul-Islam, raised in Iran, studied at Queen Mary's College, London, and the Allameh Tabatabai University in Tehran. His main fields of interest are theology, Islamic mysticism, and Qur'anic sciences and exegeses, including the history and compilation. Salawat.
Of course, I have many other fields of interest, but these are... أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين بارئ الخلائق أجمعين باعث الأنبياء والمرسلين ثم الصلاة والسلام على خاتم النبيين وسيد المرسلين حبيبنا وحبيب إله العالمين محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المنتجبين. Tonight we are celebrating two occasions. One is the occasion of Miraj and the other one is the occasion of Mab'ath. Miraj means a ladder and also ascension over a ladder, and it refers to the ascension of the Prophet, peace be on him, to heavens. And Mab'ath means the occasion of appointment of the Prophet to his mission of prophethood. However, it has become sort of confused which one is more important than the other and which one should be celebrated. I mean, if you want to judge, would we celebrate Mi'raj of the Prophet, which was something very personal and something private and something that Allah honored him with, or we celebrate Mab'ath, which is something quite universal, everyone benefited from that. It is something that everyone has been guided by, all the Muslims have been guided by that occasion. And that's why usually in our books of dua, in our books of A'mal al-Sana, the actions that we do, usually the worship, devotional acts that we do over the year, there's no mention of Laylatul Mi'raj, that you do such and such things on Laylatul Mi'raj. But of course we have many narrations that talk about devotional acts on Laylatul Mab'ath, the night of Mab'ath, or the day of Mab'ath, which is again according to majority view of Shia Muslim scholars, majority Shia scholars, it was on the 27th of Rajab, which is tomorrow. That's the occasion. Now I want to read from Mafatihul Janan. Now Mafatihul Janan, you know, is actually a book of A'mal al-Sana, apart from other du'as that it has. What should we do over the year in terms of devotional acts? About this 27th of Rajab, he writes that Al-Laylatul Sabi'a wal-Ishrun, the night of 27th. Here, Laylatul Mab'ath, this is the night of Mab'ath. And neither in this book nor in other books, it is not mentioned that it's Laylatul Mi'raj. Although, because there's difference of opinion about when did Prophet actually ascended, when did Mi'raj happen, in which year, and on which night, or in which month. Some people say that it happened only once, some others say that it happened twice, and a minority say more than that. But usually the views are either it happened only once, either on the 10th year of Bi'tha or the 12th year of Bi'tha, either on the 27th of Rajab, the night of 27th of Rajab, or the night of 17th of Ramadan. That's why it's not very clear, or we don't have any majority view about which night is Laylatul Mi'raj. But about Laylatul Mab'ath, of course, between Shia and Sunni, there is a bit of difference Here, however, as I said, majority Shi'i view is that Laylatul Mab'ath is until 27th of Rajab. And here we have a narration from Misbah al-Mutahajjid of Sheikh At-Tusi, which here Sheikh Abbas Qummi reports from him. He says that Ruwiya an Abi Ja'far al-Jawad alayhi salam. It's reported from Imam al-Jawad alayhi salam قال إن في رجب ليلة هي خير للناس مما طلعت عليه الشمس. There is one night in Rajab which is better for people than whatever sun ever shines over it. It means whatever is in the world. This night, if you occupy yourself in worship, it would be better for you than whatever is in this world. وهي ليلة السابع والعشرين, and that is the night of 27th. ومنه نبئ رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. And in this night, the Prophet was given the nubuwwah, and he was appointed as a messenger. في sabihata, in the morning of that. Apparently, in Rajab, the Prophet, peace be on him, was worshipping the night, and in the morning, he was appointed. And I mentioned what was the meaning of this appointment. It's different from revelation of the Quran, apparently. The appointment of the Prophet did not happen at the same time as the revelation of the Quran, as it is commonly known, as it is said in the famous hadith of Bukhari and some other Shia hadiths as well. And then it says, وَإِنَّ لِلْعَامِلِ فِيهَا مِنْ شِيَعَتِنَا مِثْلُ أَجْرِ عَمَلِ 60 سَنَةً. For the worshipper among our followers in this night, it will be like the reward of worship of 60 years. قِيلَ وَمَا الْعَمَلُ فِيهَا, and he was asked, what is worship on this night? And he explained, there's 12 rak'ah, you pray 12 rak'ah, and there are certain du'as that you recite afterwards. Then in the acts of the day of 27th of Rajab, as we have in Mafati and in many other books, اليوم السابع والعشرون, the day of 27th of Rajab, وهو عيد من الأعياد العظيمة. This is one of the greatest Eids. وفيه كان بعثة النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. And in this night, on this day, was the appointment of the Prophet, peace be on him. وهبوط جبرائيل عليه, and the descent of Jibreel to him, بالرسالة, bringing the message to him. And then he says there are certain acts on this day because it's the day of Mab'ath. Al-awwal al-ghusl, you perform ghusl. Al-thani al-siyam, fasting, usually on any happy occasion, on any occasion that Allah has blessed us, just to offer our thanks to Allah, we fast to actually show our acknowledgement and appreciation. And then he says that وَهَذَا الْيَوْمَ أَحَدُ الْأَيَّامِ الْأَرْبَعَةِ الَّتِي خُصَّتْ بِالصِّيَامِ بَيْنَ أَيَّامِ السَّنَةِ. This is one of the 4 days which specifically have been singled out for fasting, for mustahab fast during the year. وَيَعْدِلُ صَوْمَ هَذَا الْيَوْمِ صِيَامُ 70 سَنَةً. And the fast of this day would be equal to the fast of 70 years. You may fast this day, and then for 70 years you do not fast at all. Huh? No, of course, it doesn't work like that. It would have been good to work like that, but we wouldn't. And then it mentions many du'as and ziyarat. And one of the du'as is, Allahumma inni as'aluka bit-tajalli al-a'zam. I ask you by that great tajalli that you made to the Prophet. So whatever we have in our books are mainly the acts of Mab'ath. And they talk about Mab'ath, appointment of the Prophet, Although, as I said, there is a view that 27th of Rajab, the night, was Laylatul Mi'raj. But, as I said, since it is not quite certain, and also since Mi'raj happened probably more than once, and since it is not something that we are told to offer certain acts or certain devotional acts, we see that majority of Shia communities who celebrate 27th of Rajab, they celebrate Mab'ath rather than Mi'raj. And a minority celebrate Mi'raj rather than Mab'ath. And here, a minority of minority will celebrate both Mab'ath and Miraj, inshallah. And I'll talk about both of them in very briefly. First, about Mi'raj. Mi'raj, you know that, had two phases. It was Isra and Mi'raj. What the Quran talks about. There may have been other occasions of Mi'raj that Prophet, from where he was in Mecca or in the house of Hani, he ascended right from there. But the Mi'raj that the Quran talks about has two phases. One is Isra, the night journey, and the other is Mi'raj, ascension to the heaven. Now in Surah Isra we have سبحان الذي أسرى بعبده ليلا من المسجد الحرام إلى المسجد الأقصى لنريه من آياتنا. We have glorified is the one who in a night journey took his servant from Masjid al-Haram to Masjid al-Aqsa, that its surrounding was blessed, to show him our signs. Now let's talk about this Mi'raj, which is the main Mi'raj of the Prophet, preceded by Isra. Prophet was taken from Mecca, and he was taken physically. His body was taken with some sort of course, Tayyul Ard or whatever. They say there was a buraq, a sort of angelic vehicle which came and took him. And he stopped in Medina, came down, prayed there. He stopped in Kufa, came down, prayed there. He stopped in Tur Sina. So we have Medina, which was his own place of hijrah. Then we have Kufa, which was the burial place of Nuh and Adam alayhi salam. And then we had Tur Sina, where Musa alayhi salam was given revelation. And he stopped in Bethlehem, where Isa alayhi salam was born. And in all these four places, he offered 2 rak'ah of salat. And then he was taken to Masjid al-Aqsa. He prayed there 2 rak'ah of salat as well. And then from there, Allah took him to a journey of the heaven. Now, how this happened, there is this theological argument among the Shia and Sunni, and Shia and Shia, and Sunni and Sunni. It's not a sort of sectarian matter. It's just a theological matter which both Shias and Sunnis have different opinions about it. Whether the Prophet was taken to heaven physically or spiritually is a matter of debate and dispute among Muslims. The mainstream Shia view is that he was taken to, there's no dispute that he was taken from Masjid al-Haram to Masjid al-Aqsa physically. His body went there, he traveled, and he prayed in those places, and then he came to Masjid al-Aqsa. And then from there, a tour of heaven. Mainstream Shia view is that he was taken to heaven physically. And mainstream Sunni view is that he was taken to heaven not with his physical body, with his spiritual entity, so to speak. And then when we have come to this idea of physical journey towards heavens, the idea of how the Prophet went through the universe and through the stars and things like that have been discussed in details. However, Allameh Tabatabai Rahmatullah alayh, who doesn't seem to be satisfied by this notion of majority Shia view on the ascension, physical ascension of the Prophet, he says that yes, it is because the ascension was not to the universe, going out of solar system and things like that. It was ascension to the different heavens or skies of a spiritual realm. It was not something that could be traveled by physical body. It was realm of angels as we have. He visited different angels there. It is not possible to move into those spaces, spiritual spaces, by physical body. So Allameh Tabatabai Rahmatullah alayh says that, yes, of course, he doesn't, of course, want to very vehemently oppose the mainstream Shia view, but he says that it is possible that from Masjid al-Aqsa, he went up with his soul, spirit, but not like dreaming, or not like, for example, having an experience, a vision of that, because that is not Isra, that is not Mi'raj. Just like when you die and your soul is taken out and taken somewhere, his soul was taken out of his body. But it was so instant that it couldn't be regarded as death. Why? Because we have in narration that Prophet said, when I was ascending, my foot hit a glass of water, and when the glass was actually on the verge of coming down, I saw it. And when I come back, it fell. So it means that it was in no time. It happened in no time, no physical time. It was a journey of the soul of the Prophet. This is what Allameh Tabatabai says. To not make it as a dream or as a vision or something like that, was taken. And when he went, of course, in the first heaven, he saw different angels. He saw an angel who was called Ismail, who was the god of the heavens, so that the jinn could not come and listen. Then he saw Malakul Maut there. You know, when we are taken, our souls are taken to Barzakh, we are just around here on this earth. Very, very elite people, very special souls are taken to higher levels, realms of angels. And he says that there he saw Adam alayhi salam. And he greeted him. Adam greeted the Prophet, peace be on him. And then he saw that Adam, looking at his right-hand side, became very happy. Looking at the left-hand side, became very sad. And he asked, what is this? He said, asked Jibreel, why Adam is like this? He said, when he looks at his right, he sees his progeny, his dhurriya, who go to paradise. When he looks at left, he sees his progeny who go to hell. And he becomes very, very depressed when he sees that. Then he went to the second heaven. There he saw very different angels. As he says, Allah had created them in a way that he wished. It means that I could not explain how they were, how these angels were created, what was their qualities to be described at all. And then he met Isa alayhi salam, and he met Yahya alayhi salam, whose souls had been taken so high. Then he went to other higher realms, and he saw types of different angels, and he saw Harun alayhi salam in the sixth heaven. He saw Musa in the fifth heaven. He saw Musa in the sixth heaven, and he saw someone just sitting beside where is the realm of Allah. Oh, don't take this physical. As I say, it wasn't a physical journey. And he asked, who is this man? He asked Jibreel, who's this man? He said, this is Ibrahim Khalilullah. He's very close, of course, to Allah. And then from there, he wanted to go, and Jibreel said that I cannot come any further. You go, and I stay here, because that is not my realm anymore. My capacity ends here in knowing Allah, in the knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, this is, actually how it is explained, and we have Hadith al-Mi'raj where Allah talked to the Prophet there, in the same way that Allah talked to Musa alayhi salam there without any mediation of any angel, because that's not a realm where any angel can actually exist at all. It's higher than the realm of angels. Now, Imam as-Sadiq alayhi salam was asked what was the philosophy of this Mi'raj, of this ascension of the Prophet. He said, first of all, Allah wanted to honor Ahlus Sama, the angels and the souls of the prophets who live in heaven, with the presence of his messenger. They were honored, as the Prophet himself describes, when I entered each heaven, I saw angels swarming towards me, saying, this is Muhammad, coming and watching and greeting me with very fresh faces. The only face that I saw there who greeted me and was grim was a very formidable angel. And I asked Jibreel, who's this angel who is not like others? He greets me not with a sort of open face. He said, this is Khazin Malakun Nar. He never smiles, because what happens in hell is not something that anyone could smile at. So he never smiles. And then, so the Imam Sadiq alayhi salam says that the first reason was that Allah wanted honor the angels, honor these souls, to visit the Prophet, to see the messenger, to see the last messenger. And some of these angels, he said that they were so absorbed in beauty of Allah that they could not notice at all. And Jibreel called them, said, come and greet Muhammad, peace be on him. And they said, has Muhammad been appointed? Apparently they knew Muhammad, but they did not know that he was appointed, because they were so absorbed. These are al-mala'ikatul muhayyamin, the angels who are absorbed in beauty of Allah. They cannot think of anything else. And the second thing is what the Quran says, لَنُرِيَهُ مِنْ آيَاتِنَا, to show some of our signs. Could not Prophet see those signs when he was on the earth? No. Well, his soul could connect to the higher realm, but unless he had actually traveled there by his soul, he couldn't see those ayat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which are very different from the ayat that we have on this earth. Even for the highest spiritual people, like Prophet Muhammad, like other messengers, it is not possible to see those ayat here. Allah wanted to show him the ayat there. And of course, we never can know what those ayat were. There, what were those ayat, how they were shown to the Prophet. The only thing is that in Surah Najm, Allah says, فَأَوْحَى إِلَىٰ عَبْدِهِ مَا أَوْحَى. Allah revealed to him what he revealed. It means do not ask. You cannot know. You cannot know. And that revelation could not be given to him on earth. He just received, he was given what Allah gave him. مَا زَاغَ الْبَصَرُ وَمَا طَغَىٰ لَقَدْ رَأَىٰ مِنْ آيَاتِ رَبِّهِ الْكُبْرَى. The huge signs of Allah he saw that even Jibreel had not seen. إِذْ يَغْشَى السِّدْرَةَ مَا يَغْشَى السِّدْرَةَ. This سِدْرَةُ الْمُنْتَهَى وَلَقَدْ رَآهُ نَزْلَةً أُخْرَى. In the سِدْرَةُ الْمُنْتَهَى, he saw it on Sidratul Muntaha. Sidratul Muntaha is the end of paradise and the beginning of a higher realm than paradise, which is the realm of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is what is called the ultimate Sidra, the ultimate tree of paradise. And he saw Jibreel, or he saw the signs of Allah in the Sidratul Muntaha. And then again, a very obscure statement, إِذْ يَخْشَى السِّدْرَةَ مَا يَخْشَى. When this Sidra, this tree, was covered by things that cannot be described. And the Prophet saw all those things. So, this is the story of Mi'raj. As I said, usually, for example, in my country, in Iran, we never celebrate Mi'raj nights. We always celebrate Mab'ath nights. But as it has happened on this night, it is good to actually celebrate both occasions, Mab'ath and Mi'raj, together. It would be very good. Now, with regards to Mab'ath, I mentioned one thing. I said that Prophet, peace be on him, was appointed as a prophet before the revelation of the Quran. And this may be a bit amazing because it goes a bit against of the story we know, that we say that the first revelations which came to the Prophet was Surah Al-Alaq. Jibreel came to him and said, read, and he said, I cannot read. But there is one hadith from Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq, which is corroborated by other evidence, that he said the Quran was revealed to the Prophet over a period of 20 years, not 23 years, over a period of 20 years. And that means at the age of 40, he was appointed as a prophet. But for 3 years, Quran did not reveal to him. For 3 years, he was taught how to pray. For 3 years, he was taught how to perform ablution, and going into seclusion in Hira and all these things, until he was prepared to receive the revelation of Allah, which in the form of Quran. And that's why he says, the narration says that 3 years before revelation, wherever he went when he was alone, the rocks, the trees were greeting him as Salamu alayk, as Assalamu alayka ya Rasulallah. And this is corroborated by certain narrations who say that the Prophet was actually given the Quran at the age of 43 rather than at the age of 40. So there is this gap of 3 years between appointment and reception of the Quran. And this means that it's not necessary that someone who's appointed as a prophet should receive revelation immediately, revelation of the book. No, he would have received revelation from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Jibreel came to him, talked to him, but he did not receive the book like Musa alayhi salam, isn't it? Musa was appointed as a messenger, go to Pharaoh, innahu tagha, he has rebelled and all these things. After several years, 10, 20 years, whatever it was, when he took Banu Israel out of Egypt and went to Mount Sinai, then he received the book, isn't it? He received the Torah. So the period between when he was appointed as a messenger and when he received the Torah was a long period, long duration, because the commentators mention different years. Some say that he stayed in Egypt after he went to Pharaoh for 10 years, some say for 30 years, some say for 40 years. Anyhow, whatever, he received that revelation much later. And the revelation of Quran was not a surprise for the Prophet. He was expecting it. And that's why we reject the idea that the Prophet, peace be on him, when he received the first revelation, he was shocked and he thought that he has been possessed by jinn or something like that, and he went to Waraqat ibn Nawfal. He was taken to Waraqat ibn Nawfal to actually reassure him that, no, you are a prophet, you are a messenger. These things cannot have happened. The only thing is that the Surah Al-Alaq begins with this, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Iqra bismi rabbika alladhi khalaq al-insana min alaq. And some narrations, both from Shia and Sunni, say that the Prophet said, Ma ana biqari'. I am not someone who recites. Ma ana biqari'. I'm not someone who recites. It means that I have not given a book to read that book. And this was the beginning of his reception of revelation and mission. Before that, he was a prophet, but not given the mission. Now it was the beginning of the mission. Allah says, Iqra bismi rabbika. Now go and read, go and recite, go and preach in the name of your Lord. Iqra wa rabbuka al-akram alladhi allama bil qalam. I want to mention just at the end of my talk, very briefly, one very beautiful explanation about Mab'ath of prophets. Why Allah sends prophets at all? What is lacking in us that we need prophets? Because Allah has given us intellect, have given us judicious mind and judicious soul. Why do we need prophets to come and tell us what is right and what is wrong? Now here, Imam Ali alayhi salam, after mentioning the creation of Adam and Eve, says that وَاصْطَفَى سُبْحَانَهُ مِنْ وَلَدِهِ أَنْبِيَاءَ. He then chose from his children prophets. أَخَذَ عَلَى الْوَحْيِ مِيثَاقَهُم. He took their pledge on revelation, because revelation is something very difficult. I usually say, never envy a prophet. This is not a small job. This is not a position that people should envy. This is the position that when Allah offered it to Musa, he says, Harsallah Harun, why don't you give this to Harun? I cannot do it. It's difficult. It was very difficult. But this mithaq was taken from them in their souls. وَعَلَى تَبْلِغِ الرَّسَالَةِ أَمَانَتَهُم. That, and to actually propagate this message as an amana, لَمَّا بَدَّلَ أَكْثَرَ خَلْقِهِ أَهْدَى اللَّهِ إِلَيْهِ. When the majority of the people changed that covenant which is between them and Allah, and that is the covenant of being an abd, and He is a Lord. Alastu birabbikum. He told us, am I not your Lord? And we said, yes, you are. Whatever the meaning of that is, please, if there is a question and answer, don't ask me about Alamul Dhar, because I'm not going to explain that. So, لما بدل أكثر خلقه أهدى الله إليهم فجهلوا حقه. They become ignorant of the right of being an abd and him being a master. واتخذوا الأنداد ما, and took, of course, things as similar to him, worshipping them. فبعث فيهم رسلا. I'm just summarizing. He sent these messengers. وواتر إليهم أنبياء. Send the messengers one after another. ليستعدوهم ميثاق فطرته. To ask them to deliver that mithaq which they had in their fitra. This is what we have, all of us, all human beings. Whether we are kafir, we are mu'min or whatever, there is a mithaq, there is a covenant in our fitra. And that's why when we talk about Allah, we talk about God, we know what we are talking about. When prophets talk about God, we know what they are talking about. This is in our fitra. There's a mithaq there between us and Him. The messengers come to ask us to deliver. وَيُذَكِّرُهُمْ مَنْ سِيَ نِعْمَةً. And remind them of the ni'mah, the blessing that we have forgotten. وَيُثِيرُ لَهُمْ دَفَائِنَ الْأُقُولِ. And to bring out for them those aspects of in their intellect which is buried. This is the most important thing. Yes, our intellect should be enough. Our intellect should be enough to guide us to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to right and wrong. But usually this is buried under rubble of different desires, different self-interests, different bad aspects of our character. So they come to dig that and bring that intellect out and tell us what is right and what is wrong. Inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will guide us through messengers, and especially through Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and through A'imma alayhimus salam, who are the actually guardians of the right version of the Quran, of the interpretation of the Quran and Sunnah of the Prophet. And inshallah, we could do the a'mal which are, of course, tonight is past. We don't have much time until morning, but tomorrow there are certain a'mal for Yawmul Mab'ath. Inshallah, Allah will help us to do all of them. Wa sallallahu ala Muhammadin wa alayhi tahirin.
Thank you very much, Sheikh. We have some time for some questions. Do we have any questions?
I have been for Hajj many times, but one time I went to Ghar Hira, where we say that Quran was revealed. It's such an important place in Saudi Arabia and the whole world. And they have not made any stairs or something to go there easily. It's so dangerous down there.
We have to go by Miraj, you know.
No,
Ascender.
no. The point is that this is not in human,
Yeah.
capacity.
Yes.
But the point is that they can make stairs
That's the pity.
over there,
Of course.
so
that's
that
the pity.
people can go and have a look.
Yeah.
So why is it not done? Just to keep it difficult.
They haven't done many things that they should have done.
A question from the sisters, and then we'll come to Mazan.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you so much for your talk. I don't know if I misunderstood. Maybe you were talking about the particular hadith about the Prophet. You said being in doubt when he received the revelation. Obviously, I mean, I don't know or anything, but in terms of my own personal understanding, wouldn't a part of actual certainty be doubt? But not the doubt that you would have as a kafir, but the kind of doubt that, from my understanding of the story of how he went to Bibi Khadija, alayhi salam. So maybe I misunderstood. Could you explain?
Well, what I wanted to say is that this idea of him being appointed 3 years before receiving the first revelation in Hira shows that the narration which talks about him being in doubt and being taken to Waraqatul Nawfal cannot be correct. Now, I didn't want to elaborate on that because this is the hadith that Bukhari mentioned in his book, and this is what we usually know as the version, as the main version of revelation. Now, why it cannot be true is that the hadith says that after Jibreel came and told him to read, and he was not able to read, and miraculously then he became able to read, which I don't know what it means because Jibreel never brought a piece of paper for him to read from. It was all everything going into his heart rather than reading from something. Then it is said that Prophet thought that he was possessed by jinn. He thought that this was something evil. He came to Khadija very distraught, and he thought that something bad has happened to him. And Khadija, salamullah alayha, told him that, no, this cannot happen. You are a good man. You are generous. You look after your relatives. You are honest. God never does this to you. So let's go to my cousin, Waraqat ibn Nawfal, who had read the scriptures before, and ask him, what is this? And they went to him, and he asked the Prophet, what are the features or of what you saw, how it happened, and Prophet explained for him. And then he said, no, you are not possessed by jinn. This is the same revelation which came to Moses. Now, the problem with this is that Prophet actually came to know he's a prophet through another man, isn't it? We don't know who Waraqat ibn Nawfal was. We don't know how much was his knowledge. And if, for example, Waraqat ibn Nawfal was not there, Prophet never could have known that he was a prophet. So this hadith cannot be accepted. It has lots of problems and flaws. And I was mentioning that the idea that the Prophet was appointed before this revelation shows that he was quite composed. He knew what was happening. He was quite thankful of that. All the prophets are like that. They are always composed when revelation comes to them. And therefore it cannot be true.
Sorry, could I add, just in my understanding, because there is repetition, maybe I've misunderstood in the Quran about وَمَا أَنْتَ بِمَجْنُونَ. So obviously when people also question him, you know, there is this reinforcement in the Quran where it says that. And obviously I'm not questioning at all the Prophet's certainty in what he's received, but I'm kind of looking at it being complementary to doubt. So doubt being not the type of doubt that you get in Yartad or, you know, the...
You know, it is okay for us, but for a prophet, it cannot be. That realm is a very different realm, okay? And when the Quran says, for example, وَمَا أَنْتَ بِنِعْمَةِ رَبِّكَ بِمَجْنُونَ, is answering the claim of the mushrikun who say that this man is Majnun. They called him different names. They called him Sahir, Kahin, Majnun, Sha'ir. And Allah refused all these, not to tell the Prophet that you are none of these, because Prophet, of course, in absolute certainty about that, but to actually answer the mushrikun. I understand what you are actually saying, that for us, we always reach certainty when there's a doubt, we think about it, we investigate, and this doubt gradually goes, is removed, and we come to certainty. But for messengers of Allah, this cannot be. It's not possible, because then it means that they are at certain times not sure about what they say, and at certain times they are sure about what they say, and this cannot be. Allah wouldn't choose guides like that.
Mazan?
Thank you, Sheikh. When you are describing about the ascension and the Prophet met so many angels and other prophets, now it's during other lectures, it's very well recited. I don't know how far that is true. That he also met at Sidratul Muntaha Imam Ali alayhi salam. Now, how far that is true, and have you read anything on that, or have you heard?
Well, this is quite improbable, because Imam Ali's soul had not been taken to that realm yet. Unless if you say Imam Ali was above the Prophet and Allah had taken him there and wanted Prophet to go and visit him. Some of these narrations are from Ghulatul Shia, and some of these narrations have certain meanings which could not be taken as their face value. But certainly, we never have heard or read in any hadith that Imam Ali was ever taken to Miraj. And that means that what this hadith says, that he was taken to Miraj before the Prophet, and Prophet saw him. And therefore, it goes against all the theological understanding of Shia faith.
Yeah, thank you for clarifying, because these narrations usually are recited by Urdu reciters, and so famously recited that it makes the mockery of the whole ascension.
Yes. Sometimes we want to elevate the position of imams, and at the expense of actually reducing the position of prophet or things like that.
There are so many discrepancies by which we have been divided as a Shias and Sunnis. This is one of them, that Ali was there before Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's not true. We all know that.
I don't think there's any Shia scholar who say that.
Why not we compromise and be together rather than two different...
No, as I said, you know, these things are said by certain sort of reciters, but no Shia scholar has ever said this. And we have to, when we want to know about the position of Shia and Sunni, what are their views, we have to hear it from their scholars rather than from just ordinary people.
Thank you very much, Sheikh. I think we will end there. Salawat.
Inshallah.
زيارة. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليك يا سيدي يا مولاي يا رسول الله. السلام عليك يا سيدي يا مولاي يا نبي الله. السلام عليك يا سيدي يا مولاي يا محمد بن عبد الله ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا رسول الله وعلى ابن عمك أمير المؤمنين علي بن أبي طالب وصي رسول رب العالمين. السلام عليك يا رسول الله وعلى بضعتك الصديقة الطاهرة فاطمة الزهراء سيدة نساء العالمين. السلام عليك يا رسول الله وعلى زوجتك الوفية الغراء خديجة الكبرى أم المؤمنين. السلام عليك يا رسول الله وعلى ولديك الإمامين الحسن والحسين سيدي شباب أهل الجنة. السلام عليك يا رسول الله وعلى أئمة المسلمين من ذرية ولدك الحسين علي السجاد ومحمد الباقر وجعفر الصادق وموسى الكاظم وعلي الرضا ومحمد الجواد وعلي الهادي والحسن العسكري والحجة ابن الحسن المهدي. السلام عليك يا صاحب الزمان عجل الله تعالى فرجك وسهل الله مخرجك وظهورك وجعلنا الله من أنصارك وأعوانك والمستشهدين بين يديك. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا. وصل اللهم على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين.